Everybody, and welcome to DIY Shop, where amazing things you can do with models is going to be revealed. You know, this is going to be our intro video, basically intro on what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing it, all the different things that you can do with models. It's more of a talk video than it is a sharing video. But, you know, starting with how this came about, you know, how I started models, I'd like to give you a little bit of an intro who I am. You know, I started at a very young age, actually going around. I had a lot of friends and had a lot of family members that actually built these models. They built everything from antique cars, antiquity cars, clear up to giant earth movers. And being a child, I'd always go to their house and watch them, you know, paint and cut and glue and mold and melt and bend. I mean, and all the different things that they would do to the models. And I remember all of that. And, you know, back in those days, these models weren't detailed like they are today. And most importantly, you couldn't get the models back then that you can get today. So a lot of my friends and their family would get models, and then they would chop them, basically cut them, and they would modify them to make them into something that they wanted. And I was always there, and I was always involved with them, and I learned a whole lot. And the old timers, you know, my friends, they had grandparents and great uncles and fathers that had 20 years more than I do even today. You know, basically figured it out, and then they taught me. So the old timers basically taught me everything that I know today, and how I do these models today. And I've learned a lot of tricks on my own. You know, building these, making mistakes, trying different things, and exploring, you know, the model building processes. So, and that's basically the intro of how I came about. You know, when I'm driving down the road, I see, you know, a big fancy truck. You know, I was over the road for a time in my life, and delivering Paul Raper, campers for Paul Raper. And I see these beautiful semi trucks out on the roads, on the highways, and I'd go to the model shops and I couldn't find them. I couldn't find them because they were customized trucks. So, and I just bought a couple of models a lot like this. This is a W900 Kenworth Aerodyne. You know, I'd buy one of them, and as I was out on the road, I always had a model such as this one with me, and I would just build what I saw out there on the highways and in the truck stops. I'd take pictures, my 35mm pictures. I'd take them to the camera shop, get them developed, and then I would look at the picture, and then I would build the truck. So, and figured out different things and incorporated different things that I saw from the photos, and learned. That's how I learned, you know, being as an adult. Starting, you know, another thing we're going to cover here is also basics. You know, the basics, opening up the box. So that's who I am. Now we're going to get to the basics part. But before we get to the basics part, I do have to also alliterate with you your style, your flavor. Okay? What interests you the most? And this plays a big part in your hobby, because your interest will feed the love that you have for this hobby, to build. Okay? Do you like antique cars? Okay? If you do, you're going to feel more comfortable building an antique car and have more fun. Antiquity cars are very hard to get in local hobby stores, and they can be very pricey on the internet. Let's say you want a hot rod. Okay, you like hot rods, you like drag racing. Okay, those are very common in most hobby stores, and they're also very common in the department stores. You can get 2-in-1 and 3-in-1. There's a lot of extra parts, and you want to keep those parts. You know, when you finish the model, don't throw your parts away. Parts come in handy down the road for customizing. Okay, So, and then you have your semi trucks like the Aerodyne here that I'm working on, which I love. I love all models. I really do. There's so much out there that you can work on. You know, and when you build it, it's kind of like you actually driving it. You know, there is such a thrill and such adrenaline rush when it's finished. Let's say you like earth movers, you know, bulldozers, tractors, farm equipment, you know, whatever your flavor is, and that's what you got to kind of look at in that stage. You know, what interests you the most, because that's what you're going to look for when you go to the hobby stores. So, I'm telling you, this is going to be some good stuff, and I'm going to really show you some awesome things. But before we do that, we need to start with the basics. Now, the basics being, you go in the store, and you know you're getting your model. First thing you look at is your paints. You can pretty much get a set of paints for about $15, between $15 and $25, depending on your paint taste. You get flat paints, regular paints, your camouflage paints, pearlescent paints, metallic paints. There's a lot of different paint boxes like these around. This one here, I paid $14.99 at my local Hobby Lobby. Basically, you've got 8 paints, which you got the amber red, your amber orange, or correction, you got stoplight red, your amber orange, you got silver aluminum with red, white, flat black, and silver. And this also comes with aluminum, with a bottle thinner and a paintbrush. It's pretty much a good starter kit. I highly recommend it. And the reason why is because the fact that it's got the amber orange and the taillight red. Because a lot of model kits will come with a clear plastic lens that goes in the taillights and the turn signals, and you got to paint the back side of the taillights, which we'll get into that in future sessions. But your paints, and basically you buy the model of your taste and your flavor. And the next episode, the following episodes, we're going to build this one, which is the Smokey and the Bandit Series 77 Pontiac Trans Am, Firebird Trans Am. And this is one of my most favorites because it's an antique car, it's a hot rod, and it's also fame and glory because Burt Reynolds, you know, and Smokey and the Bandit, the movie. I was very, very fond with Smokey and the Bandit when I was a kid. And this is a great model. It's very simple to put together, but yet it's also got a little bit of a challenge to it. And when it's done, it is a nice model. It's a nice model to put on your dresser yourself. If you want to, you can also buy plexiglass cases for them, but we'll get into that later. But the first thing you want to do is you want to open it up, and I've already done some things with this box. This is a actual model that was purchased years ago by my family as a Christmas present, and I just never built it. I just never put it together. First thing you want to do is you want to take the instruction book out, and you really want to study the instruction book. The first thing you want to do is pull, and Rebels are really good for this. Rebels got an inventory sheet and most of their instruction books, and you want to just make sure the instruction book's there. Pull your inventory sheet out. Okay, you want to pull the part trees. These are called part trees. They'll come in a plastic bag like this. Okay, I always try to keep the chrome and the glass in the plastic bags. Okay, just for reference as I'm thinking about it. But make sure, okay, the first thing you want to look for is the glass and the chrome. Okay, and the reason why is because on some model kits these are missing. And if that happens, if you buy a brand new model and the glass and the chrome trees are missing, you can contact the manufacturer, which is underneath right here on the instruction book, or somewhere in the instruction book it'll have a customer service where you can either email them or you can call them. They'll send you the tree by mail for a couple of bucks, you know, but that's for the postage. And don't be surprised if you got to wait on it, because sometimes it takes up to 6 weeks for them to deliver it to you. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but it's happened to me. Very rare, but it has happened. Okay, you want to pull all the plastic parts out, and you want to look at them very, very carefully. Okay, make sure all the trees are in there. Okay, you want to. A lot of times the body will not be in plastic. You want to take the body out, and you just want to just kind of visualize it over, check for cracks, you know, brokenness, warpedness. You know, just kind of look it over visually. You know, that looks pretty. I already know it looks good, but I'm just showing you. Okay, and then when you go through all your parts, check the inventory in your instruction book. Okay, right here with the parts, trees. Okay, in the event that it does not have an inventory sheet in there. Okay, a real easy way to do that is when you look at the part, okay, and kind of look at it in the light a little bit, you'll see that there's a number. I can't show you because the light bounces off the plastic, but if it's got a number on it and there's no part there, that means that it fell off at the manufacturer. Call the manufacturer and let them know. Okay, go through all that. Another next step is when you take these out of the plastic. Okay, and I highly recommend you take them out of the plastic as you go. You want to keep these safeguarded as much as you can. But if you need a part, you're going into the build and you need a part, you take a pair of scissors, which I do not have on my table, or you can take a X-Acto knife, and you want to cut the top just like this all the way across. Okay, and you want to reach in and you want to pull the part out very, very carefully. Okay, you want to pay close attention to see if all your parts are there. Okay, just kind of visually look it over. Parts are there. You lay it very, very safely on your table. Okay, and then you want to look at the bottom of the bag. The reason why is because sometimes the parts, itty bitty small parts, will fall off these trees as you're taking them out, and they'll be in the bottom of the bag. Okay, and you always take the part off the tree and then slide the part, if I can get this thing to cooperate with me, back into the bag. This safeguards your tiny parts. And don't throw these bags away unless you're completely done with the tree. Okay, now I opened up the glass one to show you, to kind of illustrate with you a little bit, and this is kind of against contrary for me, but because this is usually the last one that you actually open because you're detailing. Okay, do not open up the chrome and the glass until you're ready to use them. Okay, very important. The reason why is because it scratches them up. You don't want your glass, your windshield, your back window scratched up, and the chrome can come off. Okay, so, but always, if you do, always put them back in. I do the same thing even with the white parts, because all the little itty bitty dinky little parts, it keeps you from losing them. A lot of the models have these, and just go through all the parts and make sure all your parts are there. That's the most important thing. Now our next video that we're going to do is going to be on doing the first in the assembly and the paint work, and just kind of giving you a roundabout of how to manipulate your parts and how to paint them easily and assemble them on the tree easily. So thank you for watching the video. Please hit the like and the share and subscribe. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for our next video.